Taichiro Arima, a shut-in teen escaping his awful real life, spends his days in the VRMMORPG PLANET. There, he's part of the Akabane Family, a close-knit group that feels like the caring family he never had. But here's the kicker. The Akabane family is actually his neglectful dad, absent mom, and distant younger brother, all unknowingly bonding in-game. What Taichiro doesn't know is that the Akabane family isn't just some random players who found each other in the game. They're actually his real family, the very people he spends every waking moment avoiding IRR. The story kicks off in the world of Planet, where two players are duking it out with a pirate crew to snag loot from a red dragon. But there's a problem. They're getting way too close to Twilight Hill, the stomping grounds of the infamous Akabane family. One of them wants to turn tail to avoid poking the proverbial bear. Too late. Out strolls Ichi, the Akabane family's resident badass, who one-shots the dragon like it's a housefly and snags the loot without even breaking a sweat. Player 1, clearly not getting the memo, demands the drops back. Player 2, the voice of reason, reminds him they're talking to Ichi, a legendary player killer who could end them before breakfast. Ichi, instead of swinging his sword, opts for a little neck-to-blade intimidation. Then, in a shocking twist, he announces he's retired from PKing and invites them home to meet the boss. The duo hesitantly follows him, bracing for some god-tier villain lair. Instead, they walk into what looks like a cozy family sitcom. There's Mei, the mom-like figure cooking dinner. A kid named yeah, that's his name, bounces downstairs calling Ichi big brother. It's wholesome chaos, and the two players are dumbfounded. Shiro enters, the family boss. Expecting some ruthless mob leader, the players are instead greeted by someone who radiates kind neighborhood dad energy. Ichi explains the loot dispute, and Shiro, in his infinite wisdom, decides the materials should go to the weaker players because the loot system sucks. Before the players can faint from relief, Mei teleports them back to town. Meanwhile, Ichi sulks like a scolded puppy, only to have Shiro pat him on the head and praise him for slaying a dragon with one swing. Dinner's ready, and as they chow down, a flickering light bulb sends all three men scrambling to fix it, solidifying their sitcom-level family vibe. Life, total opposite of his in-game glory. He's holed up in a messy room, grumbling about life. His body's weak from barely moving, and when he ventures downstairs, he finds no food waiting for him. He bumps into his straight-A younger brother, then his grumpy dad. When their light bulb flickers, Taichiro steps up to change it, telling his dad to take care of himself. Big mistake. His dad flips out. Taichiro accidentally breaks the bulb and sprints back to his room to log into Planet. Back in the game, Ichi is ready to unleash some rage, but Mei intervenes with some therapeutic gardening. Just as they're pulling weeds, the pirates declare war on Twilight Hill. To make matters worse, Mei drops the bombshell that Shiro is hospitalized. Ichi's fury boils over, but A steps in to calm him. The pirates, clearly not learning their lesson, bomb Mei's garden. Big mistake. Ichi unleashes his ultimate move, blowing the pirates sky high. Meanwhile, in the real world, Taichiro's younger brother informs him their dad's in the hospital. Back in Planet, the pirates discuss their master plan. Whoever controls Twilight Hill gains a massive edge in taking down the Blackbird, a boss with a 300 million yen bounty. Oh, and there's a new guild in town, Grenada, another powerhouse vying for control. Shiro's back, and it's time to figure out how to handle the pirates' spicy little war declaration. His solution? March straight into pirate territory and talk it out like civilized gamers. The Akabane family meets Captain Pico, the head honcho of the pirates, who promptly demands two things: all their dungeons in Twilight Hill. Predictably, Shiro isn't having it. Pico's counteroffer? She wants Ichi. Yeah, right, no deal. Shiro shuts it down, declaring war on the pirates with a dramatic explosive fist for good measure. As they're retreating, Pico plays her trump card. She starts spilling the tea on Ichi's emo, angsty teen years. Turns out, she founded the pirates for him. She tries to guilt trip him into joining, but Shiro steps in, casually reminding her she's never even seen Ichi smile. His point? The Ichi she knew is long gone. Back at Twilight Hill, the Akabane family goes into defense mode. Ichi and A work on barrier boosters, but their brotherly banter takes a sour turn when Ichi calls A the weakest link. A claps back with, "I hate neats and shut-ins." Ouch. Ichi logs out immediately. In the real world, Taichiro hasn't eaten in 3 days. He drags himself to the kitchen to raid the fridge, only to bump into Asuma, who tells him to get a job if he doesn't want to starve. Despite the snark, Asuma whips up some omuris for him. Asuma also tries convincing Taichiro to step outside for a change, maybe even do some shopping. But all Taichiro feels is his brother's judgment weighing on him. Back in Planet, Taichiro logs back in to find Shiro and Mei casually wiping the floor with 50 pirate battleships, the secret to their success. Backup from the Grenada Guild, who clearly value their trading relationship with the Akabane family. After the battle, they return home only to find their beloved house reduced to rubble. Meanwhile, Grenada takes a trip to Captain Pico, politely suggesting she call off her war. Oh, and they make it crystal clear that pirates aren't exactly the community's favorite players. Grenada has its own mysterious plans brewing, but they're not spilling the beans to either Pico or the Akabane family. As the Akabane family surveys the ruins of their home, the Blackbird, a creature tied to the game's biggest mystery, makes a dramatic entrance. The Blackbird is still doing its spooky thing, and it's using the corpse of the red dragon to wreak havoc. Ichi wastes no time unleashing unleashing his flashy wave of swords attack. But it's about as effective as throwing pebbles at a tank. The headless dragon shrugs it off without a scratch. Clearly, something is off with this resurrected nightmare. As the Akabane family struggles against the Black Bird, their battle gets an uninvited audience. The pirates, of course. They're ready to swoop in and finish the family off, but the barrier keeps them at bay. Frustrated, the pirates decide to sit back and enjoy the show, waiting to see if the Akabane family gets wiped out for them. Shiro and Ichi pull off a combo attack that looks like it worked until it didn't. The Black Bird switches focus and heads straight for A and Mei, as it raises a massive foot to crush them. A shoves Mei out of harm's way, taking the death penalty instead. Usuma collapses in his room, and Taichiro hears the commotion. Meanwhile, Shiro drops a bombshell in-game and orders the entire family to log out. In real life, Kojiro is busy making moves too. He calls someone to track down Asuma's address and sends an ambulance, all while checking himself out of the hospital. Taichiro races into Asuma's room, panicked to find him unconscious. As he dials for an ambulance, he catches a glimpse of Asuma's planet login screen. The dots start connecting. At the hospital, Asuma finally wakes up to find Taichiro crying. Through tears, Taichiro mentions a little sister, but Asuma quickly deflects the conversation. When Taichiro asks if Asuma plays Planet, he denies it with a little too much enthusiasm, even going on a tirade about how pathetic people who play games are. Asuma eventually admits he's looking for someone in the game, trying to pull them back to reality. Taichiro doesn't have the heart to tell him, hey, I'm literally Ichi, so he just says, hope you never find that friend. In a chat with the doctor, it's revealed that Kojiro, their dad, is the creator of Planet and probably designed the headset that caused Asuma's injury. The irony isn't lost on anyone, least of all Taichiro, who storms out of the hospital. Fuming over the ridiculousness of it all, he makes up his mind right then and there. The Akabane family isn't going anywhere. When Taichiro gets home, things take a turn for the techie. His computer's been hacked, triggering a memory of his dad teaching him to code. It's not exactly a warm and fuzzy flashback, though. In it, his little sister spills tea, and their father reacts by shoving her to the ground, making her cry. It's a harsh reminder of the man Taichiro's determined to outshine. We dive back into the chaos, where Ichi logs into Planet to find a single, ominous feather from the Black Bird. Meanwhile, the pirates are still hammering away at Twilight Hill's barrier like a bunch of stubborn kids trying to break into a candy jar. In the pirate camp, Pico, the fiery guildmaster, drops a bombshell. She doesn't care about the Black Bird at all. Her real target? Ichi. In a shocking twist, Pico's second-in-command, Shiga, pulls a fast one, shakes her hand, and snags the guildmaster title for himself. Talk about a hostile takeover. The rest of the pirates are just as stunned, probably wondering if they should start updating their resumes. Pico, tired of all the drama, decides to make her own entrance. She breaks through the barrier protecting Twilight Hill like it's made of tissue paper and lands right in front of Ichi. Things are about to get spicy. Meanwhile, back in the real world, Asuma is recovering in the hospital. A mysterious girl visits him, drops a cryptic warning not to tell their dad, and bounces before he can even ask, wait, what? Back in the game, Ichi and Pico square off in an epic battle. Pico sets the stakes. If she wins, Ichi joins the pirate guild. Ichi, with the confidence of someone who's never been humbled by life, agrees, convinced there's no way he'll lose. As they clash, it's clear they've both poured blood, sweat, and probably a few smashed keyboards into getting where they are. Mid-battle, Pico reminisces about how they first met in Planet. Both were wandering around, looking like they'd just rage quit life itself. Pico tried to be friendly, asking Ichi to add her to his friends list. Ichi's response? Murder. He straight up kills her, telling her to die. Somehow, this exchange sparks a weirdly wholesome friendship, and they party up for a while. In the end, Ichi wins the fight. Pico breaks down, admitting she cares about him more than anyone else, and was supposed to be the one to make him smile, not the Akabane family. Ichi, ever the emotional enigma, tells her to get up and invites her to party with him. Since he won, they're going blackbird hunting together. As they track the bird, Ichi finally opens up about why he ghosted her back in the day. She'd kept pushing to meet in person, and he couldn't bring himself to do it. Pico, still stubborn, keeps trying to recruit him into the pirate guild. Ichi counters with an offer for her to join the Akabane family. She refuses. That's when it hits Ichi. He's been projecting his feelings for his sister onto Pico. The kicker, the real reason he cut ties wasn't because she wanted to meet, it's because he wanted to meet her. Meanwhile, on the pirate ship, Pico's guildmates are chatting about how much they respect her. Things take a sharp turn when Shiga, still salty, declares he hates Pico's hypocrisy. Then, in a jaw-dropping move, he disbands the entire pirate guild, with Granada standing smugly by his side. The pirate guild is officially toast, and the chaos begins. Instead of backing up Ichi, Pico pulls a fast one and leaves him to deal with the mess that is Shigedera. Turns out, Shigedera has been harboring a secret. A bunch of the pirates were actually part of an anti-Pico squad who teamed up through social media. Plot twist. These weren't just salty players. They were dedicated salty players. Leon from Granada drops his own truth bomb, admitting he wasn't in it for the money like Shigedera. No, he just wanted to keep the game pure. Pico eventually returns to hear Shigedera's side of the drama. He confesses he's planning to quit the game altogether. But in a surprising move, Pico tells him not to quit. Instead, she suggests they simply avoid each other and coexist in peace. Shigedera, apparently touched by this, drops his fake act and lets his true true jerk self-shine. He rants about how pathetic he thinks other players are for enjoying the game and finding happiness in it. In another unexpected twist, Ichi flips the script and declares he's joining the pirates. Everyone's jaws collectively hit the floor. Meanwhile, back in the real world, Taichiro's dad is in his lab, casually deciding to cancel the 300 million yen prize for beating the Black Bird. No, because reasons. Then he asks his assistant why Taichiro is still able to log into Planet when he was supposed to be blocked. Dad clearly has some unresolved issues. Back in the game, Ichi lays down his one condition for joining the pirates. He wants to be guildmaster. If Pico's shocked, she hides it well. Ichi explains he plans to rebuild the pirates into a smaller, tight-knit guild of people they can actually trust. Oh, and since the Akabane family isn't technically a guild, he's free to do this without breaking any loyalty ties. Just as they're gathering their first recruits, Shigedera shows up with the pirate's secret weapon, the Pirate Centurion, an absolute beast of a weapon. It's basically a game over button for anyone not prepared. Meanwhile, back in the lab, Taichiro's dad is fuming. He still can't figure out how Taichiro managed to bypass the block. Someone's getting fired, probably. The battle heats up on the pirate ship as Ichi takes on Shigedera and the Centurion. Using his signature flair, Ichi pins the Centurion down in a bold move. Shigedera begs Leon from Granada for help, but Leon isn't about to ruin his alliance with Shiro over this mess. As the fight rages, Ichi asks Pico why she isn't angrier about everything. She wants to shrug it off with a casual "it's just a game," but deep down, she knows that saying it out loud would mean losing Ichi forever. Instead, Pico zones out, daydreaming about what it'd be like to meet Ichi in real life. Awkward? Adorable? Probably both. Snapping back to reality, Pico gives Ichi a crucial tip for defeating the Centurion. Like any good tower defense game, the key is to destroy the flag. She tells him it's hidden in the captain's quarters and heads off to take care of it herself. Ichi, in a rare moment of honesty, admits he's been too emotionally attached to the game. Otherwise, he would have met Pico in real life ages ago. Cue the feels. Pico makes it to the captain's quarters, determined to end this once and for all. But instead of a flag, she's greeted by none other than Shiro himself. Hinako's morning starts with her mom stopping her at the door, overbearing, a little scary, and clearly winning the Most Intense Parent of the Year award. At school, Hinako ditches the lunchroom crowd for some quiet rooftop solitude, where she munches on her lunch and dreams of Planet, the only place where her mom's voice doesn't follow her. Lost in thought, she imagines a young Pico staring longingly at Ichi. Yep, even in her daydreams, drama follows. After class, Hinako's mom calls again, because why not, and her classmates invite her to hang out. Hinako politely declines, but reconsiders after spotting a black cat that reminds her of Ichi. Random, but relatable. She chases the cat like it holds the secrets to life, ignoring her buzzing phone, only to catch it just in time for her classmates to spook it. But the good news? Her classmates stick around and they get crepes and share their secret hangout spot. It's the most normal day Hinako's had in forever. When she gets home, though, it's back to reality. Her mom's waiting, ready to unload a mountain of guilt and frustration. Hinako, done with the emotional Olympics, shouts back, calling out her mom's self-serving behavior. But for the first time, Hinako sees her mom's fear and anxiety beneath all that anger. The moment's raw and painful, but Hinako declares she won't live under her mom's shadow anymore. Meanwhile, in Planet, Pico finds herself face-to-face with Shiro Akabane in the captain's quarters, and Shiro is missing an arm. Shiro drops a bombshell. Pico isn't human. She's just an AI. And the Blackbird? Also AI. Pico, however, is a sub-AI, feeding the Blackbird by drawing on thousands of human emotions. Shiro dismantles her, literally chopping off her leg as he coldly recounts her backstory, revealing she was created from the memories of a colleague's younger sister. Pico tries to log out, desperate for an escape, only to discover she never could. Instead of logging out, she's always just been transferring to another world like Planet. Shiro ends it. He kills Pico. In the real world, her program begins uninstalling. As she fades away, her final words are heartbreaking. Ichi, I love you. Back on the pirate ship, Shigedera storms into the captain's quarters looking for Pico, but she's not there. When he steps out, things take a grim turn. Ichi's broken, barely alive body is lying right in front of him. Ouch! The pirate's superweapon has done its job, and Ichi knows his time's up. But instead of despair, Ichi delivers one last line to Shigedera. Don't quit. Pico and I were going to build a guild of 10,000 and crush you. With that, Ichi vanishes, leaving Shigedera stunned. And then it gets worse. Shigedera tries to fight Blackbird, but it's on another level. After dodging Shigedera's attack, the Blackbird counterattacks. Shigedera has a millisecond to react before logging out in the most panicked Ctrl-Alt-Delete move of his life. Back in the real world, he's feeling sick as a dog, but the thought of all that prize money convinces him to log back in. Just as he's about to, he senses something. Out of the corner of his eye, he sees it, the Blackbird, in real life, standing right behind him. That's the end of the recap. Let us know if you want part 2 by leaving a comment in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel to avoid being virgin forever. See you guys in the next video.